Eritrea, which is the northern part of Ethiopia, seceded from the mainland in 1994 after 30 years of war to get their independence, because they claimed they had been a colony of Italy, so they wanted to be independent. And so when they left, the current government leader, who is now deceased, was a cousin of the guy who is now leading Eritrea. They made arrangements, and he gave them the port, Asel and Massawa, so they took that away. But before that, Ethiopia was not landlocked. Well, Dan mentioned about Lucy and all that, but Ethiopia, like he mentioned, was never colonized by Europeans. In fact, it's the only country in Africa that has never been colonized and defeated European nations twice, the Italians, 1996 and 1941. As a result, we grow up with a lot of pride. And if you go to Ethiopia, other people have written also, people don't have this master-slave mentality like most colonized other countries. So that pride, actually, I discovered that after I came to this country. The king, I grew up during the time he was ruling the nation. If Europeans come to help as consultants or USAID or support for various things from Europe, you would never put a white person on top of Ethiopians. You would always put an Ethiopian as in charge, and you would put the white people under them. So that he didn't do it. He did it subtly, but the message is that we were very proud. It made us feel pride. Ethiopia, by the way, when Eritrea seceded now, Americans had a military base in Eritrea for many, many years. So in 1974, when the king was deposed, what happened was the military took over, and this you didn't hear it in the news here. The military took over, and because the military was trained, the Ethiopian military was trained and equipped by Americans, the military junta came in asking for spare parts because during that time Somalia wanted to have a war with Ethiopia. So they wanted to get spare parts during Carter administration. They came asking for spare parts. They brought $40 million, and the Carter administration took the $40 million. If you remember, in the early 1970s, there was oil embargo, and Somalia is a Muslim nation. Ethiopia, like other countries, also is surrounded by Muslim nations, even though it's predominantly a Christian nation. So when it came in, Carter administration, being forced by Saudi Arabia and other Arab countries, took the money and they said, no, you guys have to create peace. We're not going to give you spare arms. The $40 will go down into paying your debt. So the military personnel got so upset, they went to Russia. And Russia, at that time, had military base in Somalia. So the Russians gave $3 billion worth of arms to Ethiopia. And the following week, they exchanged their bases. Americans went to Somalia, Russians came to Ethiopia, and Ethiopia then became a socialist nation for about 17 years, until some of them were my friends who went out and fought again. President Carter put this ethnic group back to ameliorate the situation he had created. But unfortunately now the country is being divided along ethnic lines by the current people. So the relationship with the U.S. was a long history. Since 1904, Ethiopia and America were friends. In fact, the king was the only African leader who was able to visit here 3 times. Twice, in fact, when Kennedy was the president, he came here. And in fact, he is also responsible in Black liberation movement throughout the world. And he, in South Africa, when they were fighting apartheid, he not only, Mandela, for example, had Ethiopian passport. That's how he was able to travel. So, and he did a lot of good things for the world, especially for the Black Liberation Movement. And the land Ethiopia is, it has highlands and lowlands and various kinds of people. Before the Eritreans seceded, Ethiopia was greater than California and Texas put together. Even now, it's about 9 times the size of Ohio, even now. So as you go from north to south, you see people of different colors, different religions, different cultures and languages, but most people speak a common language. Some people think it's imposed on them, but we can communicate. And especially if you go traveling there, you will not have a hard time because you'll find people who speak English as well. And English is not, because we are not colonized, we don't have any foreign like India, for example, they speak English. We learned in school. And so when it comes to Lucy, and the current curator, for example, in the Natural History Museum is an Ethiopian guy by the name of Dr. Yohannes Haile Selassie. So in any case, the country is very conservative religious-wise. And if you go there, you will see the biblical times, the landscapes, and a few of us are planning to someday go and see, and you will see all that. In addition to that, what I was going to say is that Ethiopians are also good runners. They run, and because mostly it's in the highland, and average about 8,000 feet above sea level. So they say our lungs get developed, and Dr. Cynthia Bell from Case is doing a research about Ethiopians that their oxygen content does not change whether they're highland or lowland. That makes them good runners. But anyway, we don't have any biological advantage over this. They just work hard. And in fact, if you remember, Ababa Bikila, he ran barefooted in 1963. And since then, a lot of people have come out of poverty by simply running. And other things I will say is that in Cleveland Cultural Garden and Blood Animation, we are working hard. The city has given us the land. We are trying to raise funds. The first project may cost us about $50,000 more, together maybe $300,000 or more. So I can show you the picture, but it's not necessary now. In any case, when we invite you, it's going to be a competition to this one, but mostly the fundraising is going to be on the other entrepreneurs. And if you have any other questions, I'll answer. As far as the people complexion is concerned, because Ethiopia was bordered by the Red Sea, there are a lot of merchants coming there. There are Portuguese and Turks and Egyptians coming there. So the northern part of the country, they are kind of mixed.